when doing this kind of thing. So making the whole suit was like a lot easier. The decisions that I was making make a lot more sense. So it was very, very mind opening to me to do this kind of thing. Also, like looking for reference became really like a faster process when you have that backstory, and having all this kind of it's like more grounded way of making decisions. If you have any questions, by the way, just let me know. This is a very open kind of thing. I know for some people this is like very late, but for some people this is like too early, and it's gonna be interesting to see like this whole slow process of making this character. Now this is like 600 speed, 600% speed of the process. It's not like 100%. I don't paint this fast. I wish I will paint this fast. And I got my reference on the left, obviously, but I'm trying to be a bit more loose. Trying to make it like less, how you say that? Less realistic, just a tiny bit more cartoony. And I think it kind of works. And it's also trying to make this suit. I didn't want to think too much about the suit. I was mostly thinking about how I could just grab some details from it without doing anything like photo bashing or any of those things, because in this class you don't learn any of that. So I was trying to be as true as possible as the process that I was taking on the class, and not to do anything like that, not to do anything like this kind of thing. So all these details were like very... I was trying to just grab the idea of it. It wasn't like a little copy of it, because obviously the position of the character is different. All the things of the details will be placed in another way and all that. Also, having like that thing playing on the background, the class, what I was painting, it really gave me that feeling of being on a workshop. Also, like doing it at the same time while watching the class, and I could obviously like watch it several times too. So it's not like you will have access for life, as I understand, to watch it. And it's just a very cool thing to have this like long version of a class given by this really impressive artist. This part I did struggle a lot with the paws and the feet. Usually I don't draw animals like this. I try to go for more like a realistic thing, and then like a really more boring poses. This kind of like personality for a character and to be an animal, to me was very kind of like a first thing. And to me it felt like way cooler than anything that I've done before in terms of characters. at the same time that I'm sketching, you can see that I'm trying to build a little bit of that values kind of thing, you know, like having all the, at least all the shadows where they should be and all that. And I'm trying to be really easy on myself, and in terms of like trying to use as less layers as possible right now, like not giving too much information or like input. I'm trying to be just adapting the workspace as I need it. I don't know if that really mattered too much, but for me it did. And I'm also trying to not zoom in and zoom out a lot. I'm trying to be very just taking my time to do it. As you can see, I applied a little bit of color, but very tiny, like very softly. And I'm just trying to make that difference between values and build that really slow. At this point, I really decided that I was going to go for that greenish look on the clothing. Just took the same colors that the reference had. It makes sense to me. Like if I had another color, like it wouldn't really make sense personally. I was gonna use blue, but since he's like a thief, blue is too much of a good guy color, and also like red will be maybe too obvious of a bad guy kind of color, and then everything else like didn't make sense, like I don't know, purple or yellow, I don't know. So I just got stuck with the green color to do it. You can do a lot of things to kind of like pop up those colors that you're applying like very softly. You can also like add a layer to control the hue and saturation, for example, or the brightness and contrast and all that. But it's not like I'm trying to be really slow with the process on purpose, so I can actually like enjoy the process a bit. It's really cool already. Looks like characters from medieval folklore story. Thank you, man. Thank you, Ichan. How are you, dude? Yes, I was talking to you guys about this. This is a course that I did, well, a class that I took at cgcup.com, and it was really good. Like the artist that gives it, Even Amunsen, I mean, his stuff is really impressive. He works at, he have worked with Blizzard, Volta, a lot of really cool studios, and he's one of the top artists in character design today. And the music is like very Action packed. Some details I didn't like took too much time to design. For example, that holster for the knife and all that. I was trying to be as accurate as possible, but then as accurate as possible for the process. I mean, it was very it's like a slow thing. I couldn't tell you how much I did spend it for real. I don't remember exactly, but it was on time. It was on time. I'm not gonna lie. And also, I didn't do it like at once. The whole process. I had to stop for the day, then continue the next time. At that specific moment, we were really heavy on doing the Arc 2 trailer, and I was like really busy with work stuff, so I really didn't have too much time to spend on this other activity. So I will get like requests from my art director co-workers at different hours of the day. So because I don't work on the same place, I work remotely, so the hours are like all over the place sometimes with the requests, but it's fine. And I have to pick like little times here and there to do this. It's okay, Indranil. Where are you from? Alright, so right now, one of the things that they talk about in the brief, or let's say randomizer for this kind of thing, it was the word fire. So you could do anything with that word. I decided to go for doing like the character was burned, his face, you know. So I think for me, because he's a thief, or is like a kind of like a bad guy kind of guy, it will make sense that his face was burned, you know. Just a little, not too much. And yeah, I could have finished, like I could have done it till here and like just stop that process at the right. I think when I do this kind of thing that I have like the whole character like zoom in, and then I have another one like really tiny, I came to the conclusion that because of my eyesight issues, I just like to see the characters this way, like really close. It's very I don't know, to me, look at the characters like that is very hard to look it from really far away. Hey, think wise man. Well, I'm trying to get back to it. I've been losing like a lot of followers lately, like really a lot on the YouTube, and I understand I haven't been consistent and my content is not that good lately, but I'm trying to get back to it. It's difficult, man. Work is work, you have to do it, and also like life. This year has been rough for everyone, I guess. It's been like some people have had it like 20 and 30 times harder than me, so I cannot complain. But everyone has their own problems, you know, issues. And to me, it's difficult to create content and like be very like competent at work and all that, but I'm trying. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Right now what I'm doing is basically just trying to finish it off, adding details and like some highlights in some places. So it's getting to be like a final. And after this one we want to start with the Cecil Kim thing. They are missing something cool by unfollow you. I'm sorry for that. I think it's just the Spanish people, the Spanish speaking community, you know, because I did at the beginning of my channel I did have Spanish and English at the same time. Now I divided the thing and I have another channel completely dedicated to only Spanish. So my hope is that the people that is leaving is the people that doesn't want to watch only English content. So that's what I tell myself at night every day. But I'm not sure if that's it, you know. I hope it is. So this whole thing took some time to do. It didn't take like a lot of time, but let's say it took around 3 to 4 hours or something, and I did it in a couple of days or 3 days. I don't remember exactly how much. So it was fun. It was fun to do, definitely. There is a point when I'm like, okay, so this is like already taking too long. I want to finish this, and that's the point when you kind of have to like fight it and just go for it. And you know, it gets very heavy when you already spend like so much time doing something. It's basically the problem with everything, right? Like I'm doing my comic on myself, like on my own time, and I can only do like 1 frame per day or something like that. If sometimes I do half. So if one page has like 4 or 5 frames, imagine how much time that comic will take to be, especially for something that is not giving any income on it. Like I'm not selling it yet or anything, so it's not really producing anything that really gives me that motivation, other than just the fact that I want to do it because it's my idea, you know. Looks amazing. Hope to be able to do something like this someday. My biggest struggle is correct proportions and angles. Well, do you flip the image a lot? Think wise, man. That really helps. When I flip the image, I spot like all the problems like really quick. It becomes very easy to spot the problems when I do that, and it's something that I really recommend to people to do this, flipping the image as much as you can. And right now I'm just trying to catch that darker color of that the reference has. I really like that thing of having the dark on the bottom and then around a little bit. It was really nice. I'm trying not to leave everything white on the back of the tail, because that is really, it will disappear with the background. and I'm trying to put more shadows where it should be, or started to like just finish it. When you're just trying to finish the image, you're trying to correct as much as you can. You also understand that this is not an illustration. An illustration will be like more detail. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's a very repetitive process to be all the time like doing these little hairs. This was the most boring part to me, to do the feet or the paws. It's like, I don't want to keep painting this anymore. I guess that's one of the reasons why people don't like to paint feet either. But yeah, I was struggling a bit at the end because of that. These days, are you still controlling your opacity manually or using pressure sensitivity? A little bit of both. Sometimes I will do just the layer thing and then changing the opacity of the layer, which is something that I used to do a lot, especially for shadows. Like create a new layer, paint the shadow like completely black, and then try different opacities of the layer to just test things. But I usually try to, as you can see on the top where it says opacity, I can keep changing it like 40%, 20%, now it's 10%, 31%. You can see it right there on top of the Photoshop. It's constantly changing because I'm changing it with the numbers. Here I'm adding like a more dark on the feet because I thought, okay, the feet will be dirty, obviously, because of all the walking and stuff. So I try to put a little bit of that in there. And the thing that is really gonna give him a little bit of like how you say that? What's the word? Believability, credibility. I don't know. Is the fact that just making a nicer shadow will make it look like it's standing there more, instead of just like that super soft shadow that doesn't make any sense. This one is not that good, but well, it's better than the one that I had before. And also, I wanted to do something for the X. The X couldn't look like all white, so I tried different colors and things on them, and I got to be here. It looks more like a dinosaur egg or something. But I thought, well, this is kind of like a universe that doesn't exist, so let's just go for it and make it like purple. Where are you from, think-wise? Did I ask you that already? Many Chinese always there for the streams. I think I'm not going to be doing Twitch too much on the next weeks. It's been really rough, especially on health, and like it's not allowing me to do like my normal routine of exercises and all that, because immediately after doing the stream I have to get to work right away. So it's something that takes a lot of time of the day, and I don't think I'm ready for that. So once a week like this one is fine, but then what I was doing at the beginning every day and then like 2 times per week, it didn't feel right. My body's already telling me like, dude, what are you doing? And also productivity. like I was saying, you have a job and you have to do it. That means that either you have to spend more time later, or try to relax a bit and don't make yourself to put yourself too much work into you. This is like the final result. If you guys like it, let me know. I think it came out pretty well, considering like I didn't do anything like this before. Like I used to do more like people and stuff like that, so this was very mind-opening to me. So I really recommend that you take that class. The link is in the description, and it's not that expensive if you consider what you will learn there. The artist is Even Amunsen, and he's a really, really good artist. Now what we're going to see is the other thing that I did for these classes. The other class was with Cecil Kim, and Cecil Kim is an art director, obviously working a lot of really cool projects. I cannot remember which one right now, but I remember I was really impressed when I heard them. And for that I went full 3D and then paint over. And I'm using the Megascans and Quixel with 3ds Max to import some geometries and things that I can use later to build my scene. This is a very, how I say that, experimental way of working. So I wasn't really sure of what to do, but it fit the description that they were having for the example. The story was really long actually, but the things that I can remember from it was that they're kind of like colonizing another planet, and then there's an earthquake. But I didn't want to do an earthquake like violently. I wanted to do more like just the earth, like the floor kind of like opened, and you could see like this civilization kind of thing underneath. So it's gonna look more like just like this strange thing, and then a city underneath, and you will have like a small colony of humans on the top or something like that. Now the parts of the making the buildings for the humans wasn't recorded because I did it on VR and I forgot to to record that. But everything else is in there, and you guys will be able to see. The cool thing about using the Quixel Megascans was that I didn't have to build any of this. So you only have to build like portions of the thing that you're working on, and not all of it. So that really helps. You know the thief theme? I can feel this sneaky character. Thank you very much, Ichan. And for this, as I'm explaining it, I'm very experimenting things. Like I never did this before, only for work a couple of times, but it's not like a go-to workflow for me. But it was very me also trying to learn things as I was doing them. And here I'm trying to add a little bit of fog on the place, so it looks a bit more moody and not so clean. But I don't want to do it like too much, so it's not like a sad scene or anything. One thing that I keep complaining about concept art in general these days, or movies, is that they look all dark. Everything looks dark, man. For some reason, like everything is like super foggy and super dark. So I didn't want to go full on that direction. And at this time I had an older version of Octane, so everything looks like I'm having to like turn on and off the render window all the time, and it's very slow process. The latest version that I'm using right now, although I have a slower computer because I'm using a laptop now, it allows you to do changes on real time, and you don't have to close and open the render window all the time. That's something that really slowed things up. Now everything is just a tiny bit faster. And right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to make this texture that I'm going to use to create like these towers looking things. And it's a very, I don't know if it's a very weird process. Just concentrating on something that's gonna be looked like from the side. It's not like a full thing, and you're gonna repeat the texture like in a cylinder, and that's gonna look like there's an actual building kind of thing going on. And I'm using alpha channels, which the white is the best way to explain it is like everything that is black is gonna disappear, and everything that is white is gonna keep there. So just applying that to a cylinder, it will make it look like it has columns and everything. You guys will see real quick. So I'm repeating the texture horizontally, and then applying the matte, how you say that, alpha channel. So this is how it looks. It looks very bad right away. And what I need now is a ceiling and a floor. So I just grab this ceiling looking thing and gonna create something from that. I don't really care that it has how you say that, watermarks and all that, because this is kind of like a starting point kind of thing. Like you don't even like need to go into that much of a detail for the thing. Once you see like the final image, you will notice that you can barely see all this. Like there's just too much stuff going on to see all these details. You're not gonna spot that watermark everywhere, you know, unless it's something like super obvious. So for me, this is like just kind of like a tower kind of thing, and then it's like I know it's gonna look like a bit repetitive, but you can achieve a lot with just copying things and moving things around. 3D is awesome. I hope to learn it someday soon. Well, depends on what you wanna do, because this is kind of like a tricky 3D techniques. More like let's just say this is not something I think you're gonna learn in a course, for example. When you learn 3D, they're gonna teach you, depending on when you start, where you're studying. They're gonna teach you like the right process or approach to create something in 3D, which is not the same thing as doing 3D for concept art. It's a completely different process. In this case, as you can see, I just needed some image of like dark spots to make it like it's broken, so it doesn't look like completely clean. And 3D for concept art it's more about the overall ideas. It's not like literally just making a specific 3D model, unless that's what you want to do. I mean, there are artists like Idon Gurasio, for example. He will do a concept 3D model, but you can already use that 3D model in the movie, you know? Like, this is not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is just trying to create images. So the process is more loose and it's more like a tricky 3D kind of thing. So I'm trying to just get ideas out. As you can see, I use the same texture of those buildings to create this kind of like a column kind of thing. So it's not like I'm building something in 3D. It's just like I'm using tricks and stuff to make people think that I took a lot of time doing things, but I didn't. That's like the best way to explain it. Just because I don't want to draw all of that, you know? When it comes to architecture things, or like buildings, or even as you saw, like the background with the snow and everything, it's I mean, you could draw and paint all of that, and obviously it could look better. Actually, it will look less it will look more flowy or creative when you do it in your own. But to me, it's something that just takes a lot of time, and I'm trying to shoot as many ideas as I can, so my bosses and everything can make decisions So it's not about making it look like extremely pretty or that I'm in love with just this or that process. To me, it's more like how effective are you with creating ideas and doing all that. So here I'm just bringing in all those building things and trying to make them, like some of them a little bit tilt, so they are like falling a bit or stuff like that. You're using it more like an artistic tool for creating ideas quicker. Got it. So this wouldn't work for creating game assets. That's exactly right. Like this wouldn't work at all for creating game assets, or I'm not sure if movie, because in movie there's a lot of trickery too, but definitely not for games. Like this just don't apply, man. 3D for creating assets for games is something that takes you weeks to do. Like creating a character for a game or a movie or anything is something that takes you weeks and back and forth. What I'm doing didn't take more than, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours tops. I don't know how much time it took actually. I mean the whole process, because after this I do the render and then bring it to Photoshop to finish. But this 3D model, I don't think it took more than 1 hour and a half tops or something. So, and I don't even want to get started on the VR, man. VR is like completely different thing too. When you're working on VR, it's more like overall ideas. It's like you were working with seems like you have an empty space of doing nothing. Let me skip forward. So this is the thing that I did on VR, the very loose. As I was trying to tell you guys, when you're working with VR, it's more like just shapes. You cannot even add too much detail with starting to get lost in time too. So these buildings, I wanted to make them like completely really different looking from the ones on the bottom. So they are all this techie kind of thing, and it really don't make too much sense if you look at them closely. But that's the thing, you're not looking at them closely. If I had to do it super close, it will have like a lot of details in some places, like doors and things like that. Like the windows, you will actually see them. But I'm looking at the overall idea picture. I like that the perspective is done by 3D for concept ideas. Yes, that's another thing that really helps from 3D, having the perspective and all of that solved. Also, something that this image required was to have a statue on the I think it was supposed to be like super giant statue, but I didn't do that. I did more like a small. You guys will see soon. Here I'm applying different sky textures just to see what looks good to me. But as I said, I didn't want to make like a super dark image. That's something that is really bugging me when I see other people's concept art or something. The only guy that comes from my mind right now is Pablo Carpio. He also has a course in CG Cup. I like his images because they are not dark, you know. There's a lot of light in them all the time. Also, Amunsens, that guy makes these crazy ideas and they look like super good all the time, and he also is not using like all this darkish kind of thing, foggy kind of images, you know. In comparison with other artists that I've seen that really like that dark look. You could argue that it's more a thing about taste, obviously, but to me it's more like, obviously if you have a dark image and fog and you make everything look like a silhouette because of the smoke and everything, obviously it's gonna have a good read right away, but I don't see it that way. Here I'm trying to find that 3D model of a person to do this kind of like a really, it's not even like a super cool or anything. It's just a statue of a guy with 6 arms, and it was supposed to be like I think it was supposed to be like 10 times bigger, but I didn't want to do it that big because it wouldn't make sense to be on a trench like that and having like this incredibly giant statue. So I just wanted to cut the arms and place them like very tricky, kind of like 3D. There's nothing really going on that is gonna be, like you say, gonna be used in a game or anything. Well, I guess it was more than 6 arms. And because it looks just too weird, kind of like a spider just having the arms like that, I put this circle in the back, and I don't know, to indicate some kind of a god pose kind of thing. Just important that in there and make it with a metal looking texture. And I know for some people this could be like, what the hell is this process? Man, this is crazy. But it really does help sometimes to work this way. Here I'm trying to bring a little bit of light from the other side. So I added some blue there. If you have any questions, just let me know. No, some people may be thinking, what the hell? And after this, you can also like do a lot of different renders to get different points of views of the same idea. Obviously. Oh, this is funny. I used a clouds meteorological thing to make the snow on the buildings. I just grabbed the white from the cloud and copy that and put it everywhere. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that I'm talking to you about. Like, it doesn't matter what you do or use. What matters is just that you really get to the idea that you're trying to get across, you know. So when I was looking at his class, it's not really about any of this that I'm doing. His class is more, he talks more about the process of becoming an artist or being an artist, or is it fun, or do you have to try to have fun while working. Not everything has to be like super boring, you know. And his talk is very more about life as an artist instead of the techniques. So it's more about just what a life in an artist it is. And everything that I'm doing is just my own process, but I'm using the brief from the class and also like some of the ideas that he should. The CG courses like the one from Even, very instructional and beginner friendly, real time or speed up. Thank you. Is real time. He does one of the activities of the course in real time. He's actually like drawing it there and talking, and they're not that how do I say that, they're not that short. I mean, you really have to put some time on it. The only part that is speed up is the painting process, because it will be, I don't know how many hours it will be, the painting process of that character. And all the explanation that he made about designing characters is a really is he talking and showing you a presentation. At that point, he's not even like drawing yet. So it's very well done in my opinion. And also because what I was telling you about the fact that there's a host taking care of all the interaction and all that, it really looks like he's explaining to someone, and he's not just giving you like a video where you just learn things and that's it. This is more interactive kind of experience. This looks beautiful. The brush strokes make it so artistic and hide all the 3D. Yeah, that was trickily done with a program called Agvis. And then adding brush strokes on myself really helps a lot too. And thank you. So if you are interested in any of the classes, there are links in the description that you can use. But again, the one I really recommend is the one from Even. Yes, that I like that one a lot. Let me know if you get it, at least, so I know that somebody got the idea from the courses and all that and really liked it and go for it. And they're not that expensive. I think they have some kind of a sale right now. I'm looking to watch others. There are others that I really want to do. But this one really was really nice to do, man. Here I'm trying to add this kind of like light effect. And now we're on the point that I'm trying to do things that make it look more like the idea it's clearer, I guess. To be honest, I'm not completely proud of this image. Like, it doesn't look bad, but it's not like my best. So it was kind of done in a let's just have fun kind of way, let's say. And here to add a little bit more of that sci-fi feeling, because the buildings are all weird and that, but they don't look that sci-fi. I wanted to add a couple of ships, and then I used like just cutting pieces of the buildings to make it look like the same style. And this is the final version of it, and I really hope you enjoy that process. I did have a lot of fun, man, doing these images, the fox and this one, and I learned a lot, especially just trying to also be effective with time, and because I had to really budget my time to do this. I was doing this while doing heavy work for the Arc 2 trailer too. So it was interesting to to manage that. I will wake up super early, do a little bit of progress on this, and then just start working till night. It was really fun and stretch my skills, and then I can apply. Obviously, I can apply this to my work too. So that's the thing. I will say you gotta be constantly learning things, and then applying the things that you learn in your work, and will get you farther away, like quicker. So I'm gonna stay a couple of more minutes just to see if there's anyone that has any questions about it. I can see that I think there are 16 people watching. I don't know if that's a correct number. If you have any questions about the courses and all that, let me know. Or if you want me to zoom in on my images or anything like that. I got the fox here with all the layers and everything, and also the Cecil Kim image. I have the trailers of the courses if you guys want to see that too. I can't really stay around. I just wanted to say hi though. Good to know your work while watching Rodrigo's. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Rodrigo Jaceras, thank you for this great stream. I really enjoyed it, and seeing your process and commentary. Thank you, man. Yeah, I think there's a problem with this, with the time of this stream. It's been really interesting, because some people watch us from America side. It's like extremely late there, but then some people watch us here on Europe, and it's really early. So I guess they could watch it obviously because we are in a pandemic and all that, it's a different kind of interaction. But if everything was normal, I guess they were watching on the way to work. It wouldn't be that comfortable to interact or say anything while doing that. But yes, I just wanted to repeat the information a little. So I took these 2 courses. The one from Even Amunsen. He's a very, very talented artist. Let me see if I can pull his Instagram account. This is the kind of work that he does. Obviously, a lot of people know him. 2 a.m. Boy, that's late. I'm so sorry. This is his work, and it's like incredibly cool. This is the one I personally will recommend to get. You'll learn a lot on this one, and they do have a lot of new artists coming this month or the next one, I believe. They're gonna start with a new season, I guess, and there are a lot of new artists coming. Is this limited to a specific art style? Like mine is more like 2D rendering. Is there any course that fit with it? Well, the one of Even is you can see that it's more about just the ideas for creating the characters. He does a lot of rendering, but what you get from this course is not the rendering techniques. It's more about creating the characters technique. So you can tell from his work that he's very varied. Like he can do this kind of like more flat thing, or this more like really beautiful drawing kind of thing with shading, but also get into this kind of like heavy painting art style too. So I will say it's something that you have to basically decide what to take from the course, from the class. The one from Cecil, I did like it, but it was very focused on the life as an artist. It wasn't the technique or explaining you something completely directly, you know, like the one from Even. But yeah, I will say if you like this kind of rendering, you will get more from it. But to be honest, what I got from it wasn't the rendering, was more all the considerations that you have to take when creating a character. So yeah. I will say that's the main thing. Links are in the description if you guys wanna check that out. I'm gonna try to pull the trailer so you guys can see some of that and get the juice of the class. Let me find that. Can you guys still watch the stream, right? This is live. I got a email claiming how you say that, copyright. Give me 1 second. Let me put the music down a little bit. Okay, so this is the trailer. I'm gonna play it here so we can watch it together.
Hi everybody.
Of his course.
Masterclass with Even Amunsen.
And this, what you're watching right now, like the two of them talking at the same time, it's basically a lot of the class is that. So you see this interaction between two people, and he's basically focusing on that, even since like constantly explaining things to you and talking to you, and it's really fun interaction. and there's an introduction phase of what you guys gonna talk about. Then it's the class itself about the characters. Then it's a demo of him drawing, and there's like an extra content kind of thing of him doing the rendering. So it's a very cool kind of thing. That guy is such a fine guy, man.
And I was like, my cow looked a lot like a horse.
He also explained to you about how to study, like when to study and why, you know, which is something that I never took consideration on. I will study sometimes just for the sake of studying, but he recommends a way of studying that is just when you need it, like when you have to do something and you don't know how to do it, that's the time when you should study that exactly thing. And then when it happens to you again, then do it, you know.
More juicy.
Like color anatomy or just no, just design of the characters. Anatomy and all that, I could argue, is a completely different monster, man. Anatomy is something that you learn in years. It's not something that you're gonna see on a class. There are other places that I could point to you. If you write me on Instagram, I could tell you other places that you could go to learn anatomy. And even then, it's more like how you say that, like a express course, kind of like a very intensive, but it's not going to solve all your anatomy problems. You know what I mean? It's gonna be something that, okay, I'm gonna learn something, and then I'll have to rewatch it like maybe a year later or maybe 2 years later again and do the whole course again, or something. But those are other pages that I don't want to mention on this stream because this one is reserved for just CG Cup content. But I can definitely point you out to those. This is more like if you went to a workshop. I've go to workshop several times, and the feeling that you get there is that the artist is gonna teach you something really intensively. And it's gonna take like just 2 days tops or something to learn it, and depending on your level you're gonna get more or less from that. So you do have to know a little bit of things here and there to be able to get all the information on this class. But I will say, as long as you pay attention to what he's talking about creating characters, you're gonna make a huge jump from what you do right now to what you do next, you know, on your images. So it's a very mind-opening. Got you. Yeah, that's a class in itself. Does even cover rendering techniques. Love the painterly style. He has a they have a the one of the painting part. What you can see is a speed up video. Is not that short, it's very long actually, and you can see all the decisions that he took while doing that. So that's the rendering part, but the main focus of the class is the creating a character. Like, why are you creating a character? What's the story? And like all the decisions are gonna be based on something. It's not just like painting a guy standing with a spear, you know. Which is something that everyone does. So it has to look like it actually has life. Like what I've been doing with my Shira characters is basically not what he's talking about, and you can see that clearly on his Instagram. It's a fair price. I think I'll get the course in the next few days. That's awesome. I will say, is there a way to contact them? Maybe be sure to get it. Like sometimes they have sale, even like half price or something. So beware of that. And you can actually get maybe instead of getting one, you can get two because it's like way cheaper. So yeah, beware of that. Other that I wanted to do was Pablo Carpio's, and there are a lot of different artists. The ones that are coming for the next one, I think the 5th they have a new one the 5th of February, and it's gonna be cool. I think I'll get that one. Anyway, so let me know later if you like this. If you have any questions, you can contact me obviously on every other page, Instagram or Twitter or whatever. I don't use Twitter too much, but I can definitely check that out if someone writes. But the fastest way to contact me is on Instagram. If you guys has any more questions about these courses and all that, let me know. And I think that's gonna be it, guys. Thank you very much. Think Twice Man and Ichan, if he's still here. Rahesh, thank you if you are still there. And who else was here? Indranil, thank you very much too. You will probably get this with a delay of like 30 seconds. So I don't really know if you guys are. I will wait till you guys come. Alright, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming. I will next week I will try to do something more entertaining to you, and not only like putting videos of the stuff that I did. But yeah, it will be fun. I'm really getting ready in my mind to go and make some breakfast, man, and really start my day, you know. Thank you for coming, Ichan. Talk to you guys later. Bye.